Okay, so thank you very much, and I want to welcome you to this webinar that we are organizing today. My name is Jaime Alcaide, and I am the Economic and Commercial Counselor of the Embassy of Spain in the Czech Republic. And our Economic and Commercial Office has organized this webinar in collaboration with the Czech Association of Audiovisual Producers, APA, and with ICEX, Spain's Trade and Investment Agency. And this, the title of this webinar is the Audiovisual Industry Opportunities for Collaboration between Spain and the Czech Republic, and Spain Audiovisual Hub, co-producing and shooting in Spain. And we are honored to have several distinguished guests as panelists with us today, sharing their knowledge and views in the sector. And we will start with Ms. Magdalena Králova, Executive Director of the Czech Association, APA, which is co-hosting this webinar. After that, on behalf of our trade office and on behalf of ICEX, I will be presenting the Spanish audiovisual sector, as well as having a comparison with the Czech audiovisual sector, pointing out some of the main features of the attractiveness of shooting and co-producing with Spain. And we will also have Mr. Javier Iraola, Director of Projects of ICEX Investing in Spain, who will make a presentation on the Spain Audiovisual Hub program and the Spain Audiovisual Hub Bureau as a part of the institutional support from Spain to the sector. And finally, we will be having interventions from two Spanish companies in the sector. On the one hand, Mr. David Matamoros, producer at Mr. Miyagi Films, who will share his experience, especially in international co-productions. And on the other hand, Mr. Peter Walter, partner at Fresco Film Services, will speak about their work in different international productions, including relevant blockbusters, and their experience assisting through the whole production process. Finally, we will be having a Q&A session. So we remind that there is a section for comments that can be displayed at your right-hand side. So feel free to write any question or comment along the webinar, and we will take notes in order to respond them as much as possible in the final part of the webinar. So if anyone in the audience have something to comment on, please feel free. And I want to also point out that we're having a mixed audience here today of Czech and Spanish professionals for whom information on the sector in both countries might be of interest regarding potential international collaboration. So now let's start with Ms. Magdalena Králova from APA, from the Czech Audiovisual Producers Association. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Magdalena Králova, and I'm here as part of the Audiovisual Producers Association. Who we are and what we do. Our association was established in 1994, so we have almost 25 years being active in the audiovisual sector. We associate producers and production companies in the field of Czech live action, documentary, the animated films, and also in the field of film services, advertising, and television work. We are the biggest association in the Czech audiovisual sector. We have more than 130 members, which covers about 90% of the production companies in the Czech Republic. Our goal is to protect and promote the interest of independent producers. We deal with professional associations, with protective copyright organizations, and government administration bodies. I might ask to change the presentation. Yep, one slide before. Yeah, that's probably what I've already mentioned. So we can go further for the important institution in the Czech Republic. The most important institution is Czech Film Fund. which is a great and huge help for the not only for Czech producers. It has actually two, we say, pockets. One pocket is the selective support. The budget for the selective support is about 15.2 million euro. What can be interesting for the foreigners for Spain is are the special calls for minorities. We have them usually twice a year in March and July, and the allocation is roughly 1.7 million euro. The second pocket is sort of automatic, is this film incentive program. It's based on the cash rebate, and the budget is approximately 61 million euros per year. The film incentives is 20% of the eligible cost, which is spent on the Czech services and Czech goods, and 66% of the withholding tax paid in the Czech Republic for the international crew and cast. We are just now in the middle of transformation of the Czech Film Fund into the Audiovisual Fund. So there should be also support for the small screen, and the law should be effective. Effectiveness of the law should be in 2025. The next very important institution is Czech Film Center, which mainly promote the Czech films abroad. And what's probably for you, another important institution is the Film Commission, which deals with foreign filmmakers. It gives some services for the people and for the crews which can or want to shoot in the Czech Republic. We have great locations, we have great services, so we are a country with a lot of foreign services coming to work here. And another way how to get some money in the Czech Republic are these regional funds, which are pretty new, but they are quite established now, and in each region in the Czech Republic there is a regional fund for the audiovisual sector. The money are smaller, but again there are also the film offices. They can help with some service which is needed. In the Czech Republic, we are big cinema goers. We love our local content. So that's just rough about the cinemas. And the production, as I mentioned, we produce the local production. We co-produce a lot. And we are also really big in the services. So also European co-productions come to do some services, and also big VOD platforms come to work here. So it's roughly about the Czech Republic, and I will pass the floor to next speaker. Thank you for your attention.
So thank you very much, Ms. Magdalena Králové and the APA, the Czech Audiovisual Producers Association, for summarizing the main topics on the sector and the country. I will continue myself with a presentation making reference to some interesting data on the audiovisual sector in both actually Spain and also the Czech Republic. In our case, Spain is focusing actively in the audiovisual industry as one of the most dynamic sectors, with relevant producers and filmmakers in our country, and also taking advantage of the competitiveness that we have through the whole sector, encouraging international co-productions and trying to attract foreign stakeholders for shooting and co-producing in Spain. Before starting with the presentation itself, let me point out and underline some of the main features regarding the attractiveness of shooting and co-producing films in Spain. So we can quickly highlight, for example, the established infrastructure we have. We have a well-established film industry with a strong network of production companies, studios, and professionals that help filmmaking process being smooth and efficient. And more specifically, the experienced crews. We have a talented pool of film professionals, not only producers or directors, that some of them are very well known, but also crew members with a nice segment of production services companies and professionals. We will be having their experience, their direct experience here today with some of the companies. But very importantly, the competitiveness of the sector. The cost of producing in Spain is relatively low compared to other European countries, making it an attractive location for filmmaking to keep the budget under control. And also the access to the international markets because of the strategic location at the crossroads of Europe, America, and Northern Africa. So it can make it an ideal location, and it can help films reach a wider audience and international exposure. And besides that, also the vibrant cultural scene and the thriving arts and entertainment industry we have here, that can be also an inspirational as an inspiration for the work from the cultural perspective. And last but not least, the diversity and the beautiful locations, being a big size country with different climates and different areas to suit, as well as the efficient transportation network. I would like to remind and highlight that we have the longest highest speed railway in the whole continent in Europe. And this is complemented with the public support to the sector from the institutions, with logistical support, tax incentives, and funding for co-production and for shooting in Spain. So overall, Spain offers a range of attractive features for filmmaking, and I want to continue on that with the presentation I want to share with you. I want to make reference to both countries, to the Czech Republic and Spain, because both countries are relevant in the audiovisual industry. In the Czech Republic, we have 50 to 80 productions per year. Many of them are co-productions with a nice number, especially after 2015, being Prague really relevant in location and an international reference for shooting. And in the case of Spain, I mean, and these are quite significant numbers, taking into account that this is a mid-sized country with a population of 10.5 million people, only compared to other countries as Spain. And in the case of Spain, of course, the numbers are higher because we are a bigger sized country. We have more than 300 productions per year, with multiple companies achieving worldwide recognition and multiple sites chosen for filming international productions. So there is a relevant number of international co-productions in both countries, but we have not explored together enough co-production opportunities between the Czech Republic and Spain, because so far the numbers of co-productions between both countries are relatively limited. So we think there are room for improvement, not only regarding feature films, that of course there is this is quite evident, but also in other segments such as in documentaries, animation, where actually Spain is the 5th world producer in a market so far dominated by America and Asia, but also in video games, including games for mobile apps or e-exports. So there is a significant room for improvement, and we want to actively push regarding potential collaborations between both countries. There is an existing framework for co-productions in Europe, which is the agreement within the Council of Europe Convention on cinematographic co-productions. But okay, this framework exists, but it's not necessary. We can co-produce and benefit from the public support without doing it through this convention. So it can be used or it cannot be used. It's up to the companies. Why the Czech Republic? Ms. Magdalena Králové already mentioned the significance of the sector is quite relevant in terms of GDP contribution, in terms of the turnover, and in terms of the funding and incentives for the international productions in the country. We have already mentioned the relevant institutions, and I want to also make reference to the international film festivals that take place in the country, such as the Carlo Vivari International Film Festival or the Febio Fest Prague International Film Festival. But I want also to make reference to the Spanish-speaking film festival that is being promoted by the Embassy of Spain since 2005, which is called La Película. And this is co-organized by our embassy, our Spanish Cultural Institute Cervantes, and Svetozor Cinemas since 2008. Because of the COVID, in the last 2 years, 2022 and 2023, we're having a smaller edition with the main festival set to return in 2024. And why Spain? This is indeed an industry of global significance in terms of different kinds of figures. I want to mention that we have more than 7,500 companies dedicated to the industry. And we're having a sector which is internationally recognized with, many of you know, blockbusters such as Money Heist, or that the country has been chosen for shooting nice or big blockbusters in international productions. And I already mentioned some of the main characteristics of the attractiveness of shooting and co-producing in Spain. We can go through some of them to show you more in detail these features. Regarding the established infrastructure, Spain is proud to have really nice and large specialized studios facilities for filming and shooting. We have the Madrid Content City, which is a huge area with different specialized shooting infrastructure. But we have also the Alicante Ciudad de la Luz, which is a place very well known, for example, for having a 8,000 square meters water tank, where different movies have been shooted, such as The Impossible, where the water scenes were shooted with very efficient infrastructure for that. And we have other infrastructure in different parts of the country that contribute to the efficiency of the and competitiveness of the sector. We mentioned before also the experienced crews and the talented pool of professionals along the whole value chain of the sector: producers, production services, distributors, with value-added services and competitive in terms of not only on the potential and the capacities of the sector, but also in pricing. Regarding the competitiveness, I mentioned before the production cost is much lower compared to the European countries, and we have some signing examples regarding episodes, average episodes cost in international productions, which are really low compared to other international productions, and this is quite a significant feature. We have also the capacities regarding the technical equipment, the profile of the workers across or along the whole value chain. The technical equipment is quite important because it's a significant part of the production cost in any kind of feature film or TV show, and it's important to rely on such a competitive and efficient sector. We mentioned before also the fact that it can be considered as a relevant hub regarding access to international markets. not only in Latin America, which is of course a place where we have strong ties and bonds, but also Northern Africa and the rest of the Europe, of course. Regarding the fact that this is a strong basis for co-productions, we can show some figures regarding international co-productions in recent years. Of course, there is a long experience in co-producing with Latin American countries, but I wanted to also highlight that in the recent years, there has been many co-productions with other European countries. And here we have brought some examples, not with main and bigger countries that, of course, we have that experience, but we would also, we wanted also to highlight the experience with mid-sized countries that can be a reference for the Czech Republic. We can name, for example, Austria, Poland, Hungary, or almost 50 co-productions with Belgium, close to 10 with Denmark or Sweden, and 30 with Switzerland. So we're having roughly 50 co-productions per year. We have relevant experience with other European countries, but so far the experience is limited with the Czech Republic, and that's why we think there is room for exploring such a possibility in the near future. And of course, we mentioned before the diversity regarding places for shooting. Because of the different landscape, nature, architecture, cultural heritage, and also different climates. We have deserts, we have mountains, we have long coastal areas. So all in all, this creates a unique atmosphere and a unique destination for shooting in Spain. I want to mention that regarding taking Spain as a nice destination. I want to mention that this is also a nice destination as regarding tourism, and there are many Czechs traveling abroad that are choosing Spain as their destination country. Roughly 500,000 people from the Czech Republic visited Spain in 2022, surpassing pre-COVID numbers. And we have daily and weekly flight connections, not only with Madrid and Barcelona, but also with other Spanish Mediterranean cities in the coast, as well as in northern and southern Spain, and also in the islands. Czechs love Spain, and they also love, as far as I know, living here, they love and they're passionate for learning the Spanish language and the Spanish gastronomy. But there is room for expanding such mutual attraction regarding business relations, and especially the audiovisual industry. So that's why we think there is room for continuation in that. And we're having a thriving entertainment industry in Spain that I think we can contribute to increase the level of awareness around it. We are second only to Germany regarding time of TV show productions every year, ahead of the UK, Poland, France, Italy, and the Czech Republic, which is in the 7th position because this is a smaller country. We have rising numbers in terms of high budget shows, and production numbers are increasing in absolute terms and relatively every year. After a slowdown in 2020, we have again an upward trend in co-productions as well. And these significant features are complemented by the institutional support from the government and from Spain, with new programs, new incentive schemes, and new financial and logistical support to contribute position Spain as a relevant hub for co-producing and for shooting. And that's why I want to give the floor to Mr. Javier Iraola, who is the director of projects at Invest in Spain, a relevant stakeholder in positioning Spain and attractive relevant stakeholders to the industry in Spain. So he can better explain to you the incentives and the support from the Spanish government and the institutional support we have in Spain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaime, and hello everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here representing ICEX Invest in Spain, which, as Jaime has just mentioned, is a public agency focused on the internationalization of the Spanish companies and the Spanish economy, and also for the attraction of foreign direct investment. But also we are working on every year with more possibilities, trying to attract shootings in Spain, and trying to help those interesting co-production that Jaime Alcaide has just mentioned. Well, you have, Jaime, you have already explained our main strengths of our country and capabilities. So I'm going to complete your presentation just with some more information, but I'm going to be brief because I think that the most interesting things are the next presentation, talking about the reality of those co-productions and those experiences in different markets of the companies that you have invited today. Well, I would like to mention, especially as you said before, the Bureau, which is a kind of one-stop shop and we will see later a short video that explains very clearly what we can offer with that. So as you said from the
oh yeah, as you prefer. We can go through the.
Well, no. We can start. We can start if you want from the beginning. Yes, I just wanted to say that that Spain recently is focusing on the audiovisual industry as one of the key industries for future. As an important industry by itself, but also the link that, as you mentioned just a few minutes before, it has with tourism and with other sectors of our economy. And this importance that from the government we are giving to the audiovisual industry is based not just in the creativity of its producers, filmmakers, and many of the strengths that you mentioned before, but also in its in the competitiveness of the whole industry for attracting shootings to our country and to foster the opening of foreign capital companies in Spain. So from the government side, in order to achieve these objectives of boosting the audiovisual industry, in 2021, the government of Spain launched the Spain Audiovisual Hub program or a strategic plan, which is also called the Audiovisual Hub of Europe, planning a public investment on 1.6 billion during the next 3 years, so till 2024. And the main goals, as you can see here, is turning Spain into a pole of attraction for foreign investment and talent, and to consolidate Spain as a content exporting country, because our audiovisual content is growing every year, and to improve the competitiveness of production companies through digitalization. I would like to mention as well that Spain offers different financial and fiscal incentives that you could see with all the information we are going to provide you. So the next one, please. Well, and as I have just said, the plan to boost the audiovisual sector, it has 1.6 billion, and is based on the one hand, the plan wants to help audiovisual companies to travel through the digital transformation successfully. And furthermore, when designing the plan, they were aware that to become a key player in the future, the battle, we could say, was to be fought on the international level. So one of the first aspects of the program is to ease all the bureaucratic procedures to make shooting in Spain as attractive and competitive as it can be. So that's why, as you see here, we have transformed our regulatory and administrative barriers, and we launched 2 new laws, the audiovisual law and the cinema law last year. But we needed to go even further. So during the last year, we've been working in major reforms, and that's why we have improved our fiscal instruments and our fiscal incentives. We've been trying to help the talent to come here to complete the challenge in Spain that Jaime have mentioned before, and please the next one. And for example, you can see here in this guide who is who in Spain, who's shooting in Spain, that you can see in this web page that we are going to send you this information. We have a lot of partners and different institutions and associations that are working in this important sector. Here we have some examples of them, but we have much more. For example, Profilm, the association with service companies, ALIA, or the ICA, the Institute for Cinematography and Audiovisual Arts, the bureau I talked about before, and the Spain Film Commission, gathering regional film commissions, because we have, as you can imagine, film commissions in all Spanish regions, but also in the main cities where many filmings are located. So the next one, please. Well, regarding the Institute of Cinematography and Audiovisual Arts, just to mention that it's a public body attached to the Ministry of Culture, like in many other countries, and that plans policies to support the film sector and audiovisual productions. And the main characteristics, and the most important one, is the task of encouraging, promoting, and organizing Spanish film and audiovisual activities, and mainly the management of incentives and grants. So with other activities as well. The next, please. And on the other hand, I would like to talk a little bit about this Spain Audiovisual Bureau, which is one of our new activities, something that we decided to offer to all the sector, the audiovisual sector, not only for Spanish companies, but also for foreign companies that want to shoot or to co-produce in Spain. And this is just a kind of one-stop shop, as you will see, that try to give you all the information regarding the audiovisual sector that you may need. And if you enter to this one-stop shop, to this bureau, your inquiry will have an answer in a maximum of 48 hours. And if it's a little bit complex and we need to use other of our partners, it will be answered in just 1 week. So this is, we believe, an important tool that you can use to know anything about the audiovisual in Spain, and we invite you to try it. So the next one, please. And mainly we can help you, as you see here, get in touch with Spanish companies who could produce with Spain, shoot in Spain. You will see also the tax incentives, where to locate and grow in our country, where to meet the creative professional talent that we show that you can find as well in the Who is Who guide, etc. The next one. The next one, please. Well, and I also want to point out that we have an interest in tax incentives. We have tax rebates for shootings and co-productions with a general deduction for the whole country of the 30% for the first million and 25% above that amount. And here you have some of the conditions for those tax rebates that you can, in any case, see in this information in Spain Audiovisual Hub and it is easy to find. And the next one, please. And just to mention as well that we have tax rebate in certain regions a little bit better, for example, and here we have the 3 other areas, especially Canary Island, that you can imagine, it can offer you 54 tax rebate for the first million and 45 for the rest, with a maximum of 10%. In any case, as you can imagine, for those regions far away from the center of Europe, they also have, Canary Island is very interesting for creating a company, because they have, for example, a corporate tax of just 4%. And in the north of Spain, we have these 2 small regions, Navarra and the Basque Country, where you can have also a little bit better conditions, because they have historically some independence in the taxation. The next, please. And regarding the ICA grants I was talking about before, the most interesting thing that in 2021, they offer more than 77 million, with 364 projects benefited from those grants, 92 films and 65 short films funded, and 50, as Jaime said before, of the 92 funded films were international co-production, which is the most relevant thing to mention today. And the next one, please. And also I would like to highlight the fact that we have financial support. This is interesting for your future Spanish partner for co-production, because we have the access to financial instruments that has been improved with important Spanish state entities. And here you have the most relevant, ICO, ENISA, FESTE, or COFIDES, that will be important as well for this financial support. And the next one. And finally, just to give you short information about co-production in Spain, 256 feature films productions in the last 5 years, with a 2.6 million average budget. And we can see this information in any case in the presentation we're going to send you. And finally, I just would like to show you this video I announced before that summarizes what we can offer, and I invite you to visit it. So thank you. Please, the video.
Do you want to find the perfect location for shooting your next series or film? Do you want to find the perfect location to set up your production company in Europe? Do you want to internationalize your audiovisual company and don't know where to start? We can make it really easy for you. Spain has set up the Spain Audiovisual Bureau, a one-stop shop for resolving all your queries from Spanish companies that want to go global or sell their content abroad, and also foreign companies who want to film, co-produce or invest in Spain, and from all sectors: film and TV, production and post-production services, advertising and events such as esports and immersive experiences, animation, video games, and related technologies, 5G, virtual reality, big data, artificial intelligence, broadcast technologies. A team of professionals with extensive experience in the audiovisual industry will resolve any queries that may come via the web, email, telephone. Depending on the difficulty, the queries are answered directly by the consultants within 48 hours or are transferred to the different bureau partners, which deal with them in a maximum period of 7 days. All in all, this is a public service that is free of charge, available in Spanish and English, very easy to use for Spanish and foreign companies, and offering extensive customer service hours, a commitment to excellence, and a quick response. Contact the Spain Audiovisual Bureau.
So thank you, Javier, for the interesting information on the Spanish plan, the hub, and the Spanish Bureau, which I think it will be an important tool to contribute to attracting talent to the sector in Spain. And besides, I would also like to invite relevant guests to speak on and to share with us their views and their experiences in the sector. We're having here today with us a producer and a services company. We will start with Mr. David Matamoros from Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi, he's a producer at Mr. Miyagi, and he has extended experience in co-producing with companies from other countries. Please, David, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello in the Czech Republic. I hope everybody's doing fine. When I was asked to speak on, I was thinking, okay, what is relevant in terms of what can Spain offer to Czech producers? And I think there is, besides all the data and everything that looks so fantastic, I thought maybe I should be more straightforward and tell you exactly where we can be very effective. And it's something that I've been doing in the past years, and it works really pretty well. And it's becoming a minority co-producer for you. Because if you want to come here and take advantage of the tax incentive schemes, that's fine. You know how to do that. But what if you are a Czech filmmaker or a Czech producer and just want to do a Czech film that happens to have something to do with Spain or the Spanish territory of the Spanish culture whatsoever? Okay, so this is what we do. For a few years back, we have developed a minority co-production scheme, which I think is very relevant. And I think this is a great opportunity between Spain and the Czech Republic to become partners. Of course, we're doing it a lot with Latin America, but we've also doing it with other countries in Europe and also in Asia. So let's put the three things together. When it comes to minority co-productions, we have of course, the supranational, which is Eurimages. Everybody knows Eurimages, so we qualify for that. I think anything coming from the Czech Republic and Spain, which is so unusual in the Eurimages committees, will be very well regarded. If we go to the national level, to the ICA, we have two different schemes where we can apply with minority films. One will be the selective scheme, and it can give you up to 300,000 euros, which is actually 50% of the Spanish side. So we can go up to that. And this is sub-funds, I should mention that. And these sub-funds can be also combined with regional funds. Anyway, besides this, which will be for, most of the films that we produce as independent producers, we also have a general scheme for bigger budget films, which can be quite useful for animation, if you ask me. And here we can go up to 1 million euros. And this is something that we're doing right now for a co-production between Belgium, it's Belgium, the Netherlands, France, Germany, and Spain. We use it. It's an 8 million euros budget movie, and we're using the minority scheme just to get soft funds to use that. Most of the things that you need to have is obviously a previously co-production agreement, and then just go if you have an international sales agent, a distributor, which is quite easy to get, and some of the things. But we have that on the national level. Selective, more independent indie movies up to 300,000, and then on the general scheme we can go up to 1 million euros for bigger movies, especially animation, I would say. If we go to the regional funds, and I am based in Barcelona, in the region of Catalonia, but there are other regions in Spain where you can also apply. We also have a selective minority co-production scheme that can also go up to 300,000 euros. Combining this, we can be a perfect partner for any of your projects. When does it work better? So you don't waste your time. Especially, I will say in two moments. If you have a female director, right now Spain is very, very focused on equality and diversity. So we are really giving a huge impact on just bringing out female workers in the industry. That can be directors, writers, DOPs, editors, someone who takes the lead of the project. So we very focus on female directors. And also we very focus on very experienced directors that have been on A film festivals, A-class film festivals. So if you happen to have a director that has been, I don't know, to Toronto, to Cannes, to Berlin, to wonderful Locarno, to Carlo Vivari, for example, that I love, Venice, San Sebastian, it gives you extra points into the system. So I will especially recommend it for those two occasions. If you have female directors or directors who have a lot of experience in big film festivals. We also have the option to have pre-sales in television for movies. I would not rely that much on the television scheme because it's a selective commission and you never know how much they're drinking that day. So you can't make any science of what they can choose. But, going back to what they've been choosing lately in terms of international co-production is always with local flavor, something that has something to do with Spain, or when you have a very well-known cast at a Spanish or European level. So I think they gave me like 10 minutes. And so those are my 10 minutes. So again, to summarize all this, the most relevant thing, if I will be they put my name here, so you know who I am. The most relevant thing, if I be a Czech producer, is, okay, do I have a film that can take place in Spain or needs a minority co-production with Spain that can offer something, as they mentioned before? I can go, with independent movies, with female directors or very experienced directors with A film festivals, and try to get money from at the national level from the ICA, at the regional level in ISTEC, for example, in Catalonia. And then, of course, you can combine the sub funds with the tax incentives that I think they're going to explain to you later. Here are some of my wonderful posters of the movies that I've been producing in the last years. You don't need to watch them all, but we're very fluent in producing. Belgium has been one very strategic partner, Sweden, France, Ireland, and we're doing a lot with Mexico, Argentina. We're doing some things with Peru because there's a lot of talent in Peru and Colombia, and also we tried Korea. What we have found in this game, there's 3 movies that we're developing at this moment with the minority co-production scheme, is that you can have the best talent of the world. Filmmakers that have their own voice, they have something to say, they have a very good script, a very good story, and we combine those efforts to make that. We're working on a female director from Argentina, another director from Argentina, and one from, I think he is Belgium or Dutch, and it's working pretty well, and it allows us to be a part of this great community, to exchange creative teams and technical teams, and it's wonderful to the level of budgets that we have in the Czech Republic and Spain. That's more or less what I would like to say, from my side, just to thank Ethics and Nika and everyone who's involved in this seminar, which is very, very useful. Finally, Czech Republic, which is a great country to co-produce with. So thank you for organizing this, and I'm here if you have any questions regarding these very specific topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David Matamoros from Mr. Miyagi Films, and which is a shining example of successful co-production experiences in the recent years. And we have also another Spanish company here today with us to share their experiences, both in producing and assisting through the whole film services value chain. And we have Mr. Peter Walter, partner at Fresco Film Services. Thank you, Peter. I'm pleased the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jaime, for the introduction, and thank you, ETHEX, for this invitation and for this great opportunity and idea. Also, hello to all my Czech friends, especially those in the room who I know and have a very good relationship with, Milk and Honey, Prague Studios, and many more. Welcome to see you all back. It's an honor to speak in front of all of you, and honor to speak in front of a country that has one of the longest and best histories in filmmaking, which is the Czech Republic, with great professionals. And as such, it is an honor to speak from professional to professional. Now, I'm the vice president of ProFilm, as you have seen before in another slide, the Producers Association of Spain for service productions, and also in representation of my country, company, which is Fresco Film. We are a service company in Spain, and we basically cling on to a long tradition of service productions in the country, which started in the 1950s, late 1950s, beginning of 1960s, with such great productions as Dr. Zhivago, Lawrence of Arabia, and then a long list of other movies that have been serviced for precisely American big studios, and which initiated a long tradition in services, but also in crews on working on international productions. As such, we are happy to talk about the advantages, but obviously being the last speaker here on this panel makes it kind of redundant to go on speaking about the same advantages that Spain might have. Yet I think there's one important factor that as professionals in the service industry we can bring in that might interest you, and that is we speak the same language. And I'm not speaking about English, which is our common factor or denominator here in this webinar, but I'm speaking about the American studio film language. We all speak the same language as in necessities. We, due to this long tradition in service in this country, know exactly what is required. We know the processes of working in this industry, and we know what is required as far as bureaucracy is concerned as well. Therefore, in Spain, Fresco Film and all other components as well of ProFilm have a long history of servicing American studios, such as long list, Sony, Paramount, Universal, HBO, Netflix lately as well. And you name them, on great productions. In our case, for instance, the last big productions included The Interpreter by Guy Ritchie, Uncharted, from Sony with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg and Tony Banderas, who, again, another Spanish national from our city as well, from Malaga, and a long list of TV productions such as The Crown, in case of our friends from a different production company, and in our case, for instance, Game of Thrones or House of Dragons. And in that sense, I think, it is clearly visible, or, we're proud actually to point out that we precisely speak that language that is required to understand how this industry works and to make it work. And we hope that thanks to the help of the Spanish government as well, and the ETHEX and all other institutions and the Spanish audiovisual hub, working together hand in hand with our industry and with the service companies, because they have understood the importance of this industry in the country, bringing not only money, but jobs, stability, an equivalent or an alternative to other traditional economic models into the country. And hence we work together, and we're proud, and we hope we can keep on with this tradition. As everybody else pointed out, the landscapes, the different climate zones, and all those are advantages, but also, 320 days of sunshine, the possibility of jumping from a desert to snow mountains in about an hour's time by car, all those, the infrastructures are advantages of this country, which in this case, again, and maybe coming back to also not only co-production, but the sense of co-production as well, which we have been dealing with, not co-production, but with our friends from Prague, is that both countries, the Czech Republic and Spain, are very complementary as in hosting big American productions, both in feature films or on TV, because we have complementary not only landscapes, but infrastructures. We speak the same language, and hence have proven already on different productions that both countries can combine their destiny and unite forces in order to be stronger. Also in comparison to other competitors, you know, the Czech Republic has a strong strong competitors as neighboring countries. Spain does as well. So if Spain and the Czech Republic partner up in this sense, as well as offering services, offering both countries as a combination, you know, is another opportunity, and a business opportunity and cultural opportunity for everybody and everything. So in that sense, I hope we all take it up. We take up communications, and hope to see you all soon in Spain. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Actually, we have here the slides regarding some of your work.
Mm-hmm.
And try and answer them. So, as you were mentioning, you have experience with some of the main international and American studios, and here we have some of the recent works as a result of your collaboration. So, thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity again to everybody, and thank you for assisting.
And before going to the final part of this session, which is the Q&A session, we just want to have the opportunity to run a short video as a summary of the main topics we have been discussing and presenting today. So this is a video about the opportunities of co-producing and shooting in Spain. Hope you like it. It's a short one.
Why has Spain become the shooting location for some of the major US film productions in recent years? Spain is committed to attracting the audiovisual industry from all around the world with very competitive tax incentives. Spain has launched a visa system adapted to the needs of the audiovisual industry. We have a well-established industry offering modern infrastructures, top suppliers, and extremely talented, qualified, and experienced technical crew and art departments. Spain has the perfect climate for uninterrupted shooting all year round. We can shoot all kinds of scenes thanks to the country's versatile locations, from castles, abbeys, medieval villas, aqueducts and forts, to skyscrapers and modern technological cities. Our diverse geography also offers mountains, beaches, deserts, islands, and plains, and all well connected by road, train, or plane. We have set up a centralized information point for direct contact and rapid and streamlined management of all industry needs. Spain is welcoming. With one of the highest quality of life levels in the world, Spain is a safe country with excellent cuisine and a great range of accommodation options. Spartacus, Lawrence of Arabia, Luke Skywalker, James Bond, and Ethan Hunt have already chosen Spain for their adventures. Now it's your turn. Lights, camera, action.
So thank you very much. And we have finalized the first part of the presentation. We have now some time, a few minutes for a Q&A session in case there is questions regarding any of the topics that have been presented today. We have here a question from Mr. Mark Recha, which is in the process of co-producing a film with Spain. He's asking if we have relevant data on how many Czech, Spanish, and Spanish-Czech co-production has been produced so far, Yes, we have. Actually, there has been only 2 feature films and 1 short film co-produced so far, but it has been a result of an international co-production agreement with also more countries. I think one of them was Romania also involved. So it was not only a purely bilateral agreement, but with other stakeholders involved. We will share the information with you at the after the webinar with details on these co-productions. We'll definitely do it. We can give you actually the names of the not only of the countries involved, but of the producers involved, and the specifics on the production. Do you have any other question or comment from anyone in the audience? No. If not, we just want to. I would like to sum up also regarding not only the features of the attractiveness. We also mentioned the incentives, but also the requirements. We mentioned that there is a cultural test to be passed. It was in one of the slides. I just want to highlight that this is something relatively straightforward and easy to pass. Nothing that cannot be easy to comply with. So it's relatively easy to get by in this scenario where we are reducing bureaucracy and we are strengthening and adapting whatever is needed to make it easier for international companies and professionals to work with us. So this is something not to worry about. Besides, I want also to mention Ms. Magdalena Kralova mentioned that Czechs are relevant cinema goers, and they do enjoy the film industry. I want to highlight that the Czech market is ready to grab new content, including the Spanish one, and including that not only in English but also in foreign original languages, which is something accepted and used and consumed in the Czech Republic. So this is another advantage. So this is something important also to take into account. And please, if there is any other panelists that want to add or to mention something additional in this final part of the presentation, please go ahead. Javier, if you want to add something else from IFEX and the Audiovisual Bureau.
No, I think you have said almost the most interesting thing, and I come to congratulate you all for your participation, because I think the presentation of both companies as always have been really interesting, both from David Matamoros and Peter Walter. It's been really great, and we hope to finally have this collaboration between both countries. I think it's really interesting, this possibility, and we will help us as far as we can to make this a reality in the near future. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So from IFEX, from the Trade Office of the Embassy of Spain in the Czech Republic, I want to thank you all, especially the Czech Audiovisual Producers Association and Ms. Magdalena Kralova, to thank Mr. David Matamoros and Mr. Peter Walter and Mr. Miyagi and Fresco Film Services for joining and sharing with us their experiences. And we want to strengthen and to point out that we are ready to support potential collaborations, as well as to channel any inquiry to the right person in order to respond whatever doubt you may have regarding the future, the potential future we might have together. We are keen to work on promoting the sector to create awareness, not only online, such as today, but also in future in-person events that we may have together. to expand these Spanish-Czech relations in the sector in the future. So thank you again to everybody. Hope this was interesting information for you, and we are at your disposal in case anything else is needed in the future. Thank you very much.